Hi, my name is Aditya Pandey and I will be your instructor in this web development course. In this introductory video, I will be telling you some basic things one should know about this course before straight jumping into it. At first, whom this course is for. Then, what technologies you will be learning in this course. And at last, what are the pros and cons of Node.js, which is a JavaScript runtime environment we will be using for server-side scripting. Coming to all these one by one, starting with whom this course is for. So, anyone looking for learning web development or building a career in web development, you have come to the right place. This course will include all aspects of website development from client side to server side. Now, what technologies you will be learning in this course? We have divided this course into two parts, front end or client side and the back end or the server side. In front end, we will start by learning the basics of web development, that is HTML and CSS. Then we will move on to Bootstrap, which is one of the world's most popular front-end component library for developing responsive front-end for websites. Then comes JavaScript, which is a lightweight programming language having object-oriented programming capabilities and also helps us to build interactivity in websites. Then comes jQuery, which is a JavaScript library to simplify HTML DOM tree manipulation, which we will talk about later in this course. Here ends our front end part or the client side part. Now we'll enter the backend section or the server side section or server side programming. In this we will start by learning HTTP requests, how they are made, and some basics of backend programming. Then we will move on to Node.js, which we will use for the server side scripting, and we will also learn some of its framework like Express.js. After this we will start working with APIs. In this we will learn what are JSON and XML files, how do we work with them, and we will also take an example of an API and we'll learn how to work with APIs. Then comes the data storage part, in which we will use MongoDB and we will make connections with the database using Mongoose. Then we will learn something called RESTful routes and data associations. We will talk more about these two things later in the course in detail. Then we will end this course with building an authentication system using Passport.js, which is another JavaScript library. Now the third and the last question or the part, what are the pros and cons of Node.js? Coming to the pros first, it is extremely fast. Node.js is built on Google Chrome's V8 JavaScript engine, so its library is very fast in code execution. IO is asynchronous and event driven. This is one of the most important benefits of Node.js. All APIs of Node.js library are asynchronous, that is non-blocking. So a Node.js based server never waits for an API to return data. The server moves to the next API after calling it, and a notification mechanism of events of Node.js helps the server to get a response from the previous API call. It is also a reason that it is very fast. Another pro of Node.js is that it is single threaded. Node.js follows a single threaded model with event looping. Node.js is highly scalable because event mechanism helps the server to respond in a non-blocking way. Node.js cuts down the overall processing time while uploading audio and video files. That is why Node.js applications never buffer any data. These applications simply output the data in chunks. Node.js is open source. This is also one of the major pros of Node.js, which has produced many excellent modules to add additional capabilities to Node.js applications. Now we will come to the cons of Node.js. The first con and one of the major drawbacks of Node.js is performance bottlenecks or issues with heavy computation tasks. As we know, Node.js is a runtime environment that executes JavaScript on the server side. Being a front-end programming language, JavaScript uses a single thread to process tasks quickly. Threading is not required for it to work because tasks in JavaScript are lightweight and take little CPU. Turning back to Node.js, now we know why it is considered single-threaded. It processes JavaScript, which is single-threaded. A non-blocking input-output model means that Node.js answers the client call to start a request and processes the task during the time it shoots the callback as the task is ready. Processing tasks asynchronously. Node.js executes JS code on its single thread on an event loop basis. This is what is called an event loop. The problem occurs when Node.js receives a CPU bound task or some task with heavy computation, CPU intensive work. Whenever a heavy request comes to the event loop, Node.js would set all CPU available to process it first and then answer other requests queued. That results in slow processing and overall delay in the event loop, which is why Node.js is not recommended for heavy computation or data, or you can say intensive calculation work. However, in 2018, multi-threading was introduced in Node.js as an experimental feature, and this remains experimental in the 12th version also. Another major con of Node.js is immaturity of tooling. Although the core Node.js modules are quite stable and can be considered mature, there are many tools in the npm registry which are either of poor quality or not properly documented or tested. Third one is growing demand for experienced professionals. Despite a common belief, not all JS developers are Node.js developers as well. Mastering server-side JS programming requires a significant amount of effort and a certain background in backend development. Due to such a steep learning curve, the number of Node.js engineers is significantly lower than the total number of JS professionals. As the hype over Node.js continues to grow, the demand for experienced professionals in this field increases. That's all for now. If you like the video, like, share and subscribe. See you in the next video. Till then, stay home, stay safe.